Hi guys! So since YouTube likes to demonetize my videos, please be sure to relate to the link in my description down below and check out Car Marshall. I get paid per click. The longer you stay on the site, the more I get paid, and I would really greatly appreciate it. All you gotta do is click my link, search for a deal, and you can help support black businesses. Now I'm kidding, but for real, help me out. Thank you. Back to the video.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my wonderful sweet babies. It's Dawson's voice, and you're watching my second channel. So basically I wanted to do a video dragging the fuck and giving my opinion about this Shauna Malcolm woman. Now long story short, I'm going to be enjoying my late midnight snack. I got my serving size of barbecue wings and a mango. And I'm basically going to be explaining to y'all Miss Shauna Malcolm and this bullshit that she literally put out into the internet. Now, long story short, if you guys don't know who Shauna Malcolm is, she's basically infamous and known for doing parodies and skits. She basically came up when the internet was a different place. Like, y'all remember when the internet was on the rise back in 2010, 2008? Back when people were doing cringy videos with their webcams, stupid-ass videos, and chat rooms, and MSN. Like, if you're older than the age of 20... more than likely, you probably have seen the internet change to what it is. But if you're a teenager, you probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about or why the internet was so controversial back then. So Shauna Malcolm decided to address all the stuff that she did on the internet. And if you guys didn't know, Shauna Malcolm is a 38-year-old video content creator, and she got her rise to fame basically being a black stereotype. As cringy as that word is, that's what she built her career based off of. Being the ratchet, loud, crazy girl, and she has a predominantly white audience. She mainly has a predominantly white audience because her and Shane Dawson used to be best friends, and I'm sure all you guys know who Shane Dawson is. And Shane Dawson is very infamous for his food videos, his controversial skits, and Shane Dawson's even more infamous for doing videos trying to be black stereotypes and dressing in blackface.
Girl, I know. No, he is overreacting. Girl, I ain't even been convicted yet. I know, shoot. Alright, I gotta go. Alright, see you later. The fuck you looking at? What? No, homie, I'm just playing. You white people get so scared so quick. Aren't you white? I'm light-skinned. Like Van Diesel. Oh.
All about how my life got twisted upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there and tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. Yeah. Bum 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 bum. Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, it is me, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Now, Shauna Malcolm decided to come back to YouTube after being gone for almost 8 years, and she decided to address all the controversy that she was in 8 years ago that she got dragged into.
So as you guys know, I am Shanae, and this is my homegirl, Black as Shit,
with a money sign.
and we are here to give you guys some much needed advice. So I went on my Twitter. My first question comes from Twitter, and it's from Pico Gone, and she wants to know, how do I deal with cutting myself?
Make a pattern when you do it. I think you should draw like creative things with it, you know, and you could even like collect the blood in a bucket and donate it. See what I'm saying? That way something come out of your pain.
That was some terrible advice.
Why y'all depressed? Ain't fucking shit wrong with you. Y'all got computers watching this shit.
Starting with when she used to kick it with Shane Dawson, who used to be her best friend. If you guys didn't know, she participated in a lot of these skits of Shane doing blackface, and she participated in many skits of Shane calling her a nigga bitch monkey woman. And if you aren't familiar with the skits, here's a few of them.
7 favorite bodily fluid? Oh, nigga bitch monkey woman, you're the best! I'm gonna eat this whole...
You should be! I'm sorry, when I become Nikki, I just get so angry. So back to the question, my best friend is Kate.
Chocolate.
Name chocolate.
The word of the day is... nigga!
Anyways, so Shane did eventually apologize for those. If you didn't know, Shane Dawson apologized for those 4 or 5 years ago. Back in 2015, he apologized for those. He took accountability, and I personally feel like he was sorry.
Once in a while, once a year, I get kind of bombarded on Twitter with, you know, Shane's racist, and they'll post screen caps and blog posts and all these things, and I ignore it, and I just say, I'm not racist, so I ignore it. Done. And I read the tweets. Usually I just ignore them or write something sassy, and I read them, and it really fucked me up. Now, for those of you who don't know what blackface is something that they used to do a long time ago. White people would, you know, make their face black, and they'd paint their lips white, and they'd make fun of black people, and it was really cruel. And to play a character, like, if I'm teaching you that, it's wrong, and I am sorry.
Like, I know a lot of people have the mindset of, once a racist, always a racist, and I don't believe that. I believe people can change and people can grow as long as they show me by action that they can grow. Now, following that, besides that, let's talk about Shauna Malcolm and why she's such an important factor to today's video. So she decided to finally address it after 7 years of being asked, why did you allow Shane to call you a nigga bitch monkey woman? Why did you allow this stuff? Why did you allow this stuff? And she did a sit-down video, and this is a lot of what she had to say. She basically said a lot of it was jokes. Yes, should we have not done that? Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done that, but a lot of it was jokes.
Because my intention is never to alienate or hurt or make people feel invalid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that was a different time. For some people, YouTube is a business, it's a job. For some people, it's a creative outlet. And for some people, the lucky ones, the really lucky ones, it's both. I started YouTube for all the wrong reasons. And I recognized my error. And I'm now coming back to share me, to share my life, to share the things I'm interested in. And if you're interested in those things, please stick around. If you're interested in telling me about how I was 5, 6, 8 years ago, I'm not gonna really engage with that because that's not valid for me. Now, the last thing, and arguably to some people, the most important thing is this comment and the comments that are like this, where they talk about the blackface, Shane's racist past, and my stance on it. I'm gonna say a couple things. First, I wanna say, I think there's a really big divide in this understanding. But for me, I can't think of a single thing on this planet that is so sacred that it can't be targeted in a well-executed joke. Meaning, whether it's genocide, homicide, matricide, patricide, infanticide, abortion, famine, rape, murder, adultery, whatever the thing is, for me, there's nothing so sacred that a well-executed joke about it is problematic for me. Now, if you're being true and if you're being authentic, you have to experiment and try to find where that line is. And in doing so, you're gonna cross it occasionally. You're gonna fuck up. Would I do that scene now? No, because I don't think it's particularly funny. At the time, I didn't think it was not funny. I didn't think it was funny. I just thought it was, But I also knew that it wasn't my friend talking to me like that.
Favorite bodily fluid? Oh, nigga, bitch, monkey woman.
I just thought it was, But I also knew that it wasn't my friend talking to me like that. That was a character talking to a character in a scene. Separately, so I know somebody's gonna dig this up and be like, oh, but there was a video where you had him call you nigga. Now, at the time, can't speak for how Shane feels now. Shane felt super uncomfortable having never said that word before. He's like, oh my God, it's still doing good. I'm like, for me, Jamaican Shauna, without a full appreciation, I think, of the impact of that word in the context of this country. I thought it was hilarious.
The word of the day is nigga.
That this confident, successful young guy who was my friend was afraid of a word. I'm like, is this a word? And he didn't call me nigger. He called me nigga. It wasn't my request. And he didn't call me nigger. He called me nigga. It wasn't my request. Call me nigger. He called me nigga. It wasn't my request. But it was because it was a joke. I wanted to understand why he was so uncomfortable by this word. I understand it now. Like, I get it now, having lived here longer, having had actual racist encounters in real life. But I didn't get it then, so I thought, this is hilarious that he's freaked out by a little word. It's just a word, Jane. And we happened to be, at that time, recording real interactions in our lives. They weren't staged for the internet's consumption. That was like a real interaction we were having. And some people thought it was funny. Some people were, oh, hell no, you can't have this white man calling you this. Now, I wasn't giving him permission to call all other black people that he see nigga. And as far as I know, he ain't never done that. Now, I'm not telling you that you can't cancel whoever you don't like. But I'm also saying that there are nuance to things. When we stop being able to look at things on more than one level, that's when we lose the ability to have true discourse. Maybe you won't agree with where I've landed on this, but for me, Shauna, the Jamaican-born, newly minted US citizen, twice married woman, college educated, somewhat well-traveled, 38-year-old version of myself, I think they were bad jokes, but they were jokes. I think they were bad jokes, but they were jokes. I think they were bad jokes, but they were jokes. I'm not offended, and to me that's not proof of racism. Offended, and to me that's not proof of racism. I'm not offended, and to me that's not proof of racism.
Favorite bodily fluid? Oh, nigga, bitch, monkey woman, you're the best!
Offended, and to me that's not proof of racism. Are there other jokes that he made that I've seen snippets of, or that I was in the scene with? I think, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that? Sure. That doesn't make him a bad person. It doesn't make him a racist. Only he can speak to what's going on inside his heart and inside his mind.
Oh, nigga, bitch, monkey woman.
And you may want to sit in judgment and decide this is proof of your racism. But for me, how he treated me, how he supported me emotionally, financially, spiritually, for years and years before I found my partner in life who stepped forward and did all of those things and then some, is proof of him being anything but racist. Now,
bitch, are you dumb or are you dumb? The audacity for this fucking woman to sit up here and say they were jokes. Take a joke. Not only that, Shauna Malcolm is also married to a white man, which could probably give you some context on why she probably thinks the way she does. But basically, she tried to excuse the fact that it was all jokes, and yeah, it wasn't executed well, but yeah, I mean, it was a joke back then. I mean, yeah, would I have to do it now? No, but at the end of the day, I use it in a sense of comedy.
Or telling me that I'm just ignorant or that I need to read a history book. If you can just try to see that maybe there's another way of looking at the exact same set of facts, that's when we can heal. That's when we can learn from you. That means that they're wrong and idiotic. That's why politicians lie to us so much. That's why the media manipulates us so much, because they play on the fact that we just want to live in a bubble where everything has to look exactly like what we know. And that's not the world.
And for people to sit up here and defend her, mind you, most of her fans are white, because she's also known for making an infamous song called Brush Your Tongue, Nigga.
Or your ass might hear. It's time to brush your tongue, nigga. Front to back, nigga. Squash your tongue, nigga.
And that song was so popular that inspired many other white people to get on camera and sing the lyrics. And not only that, she also gained a lot of opportunities beyond that song. She said she got a rude awakening about racism in the industry when basically she walked into a meeting, because back then she was on a mainstream level. She said she got a rude awakening about the impact that she made on the internet when a man basically said, oh, I know you, you're that girl that did that. Like, he made the monkey sounds and the monkey posture, and he did all these things. And that gave her a rude awakening back in 2015, 2014, and she said that she wanted to avoid saying the N-word on camera.
I remember being in a meeting and I come in and I shake the hand of the dude that's holding the meeting, and this is like one of the vice presidents of development or production, and I start speaking and this dude is like, oh, but I thought you were, and then he does this, like a little kind of ape-like monkey dance. Y'all, I've never had a more rude awakening in real life, in a professional business capacity than in that moment. While this grown-ass man shouldn't have said what he said, he was basing his entire opinion of me off of snippets, what I considered to be comedic snippets on the internet. He was like, oh no, this is the entirety of this bitch. This is all who she is. This is all she'll ever be. This is all she ever thinks about. That was heartbreaking for me because I had all these other parts of myself.
Because of that. But she still doesn't want to hold Shane Dawson accountable. Now, listen, I've made several videos talking about the history of blackface. If you haven't seen those, type in Choice TV, Destin Choice, and type in blackface, and you'll see like 10 videos. And I've broken down, and I've always made Shane Dawson an example. I've always used Shane as an example for blackface and modern day blackface. And here's the thing. A lot of people love to say, well, that was a long time ago. Shane shouldn't have to say sorry. And let me just say something real quick. I do not like the fact that there is many non-black people accepting apologies on my behalf. And I don't appreciate the fact that there are non-black people trying to tell me to get over something. And I say this very often. I say this 10 times more often than a lot of people think. When it comes to getting over it, it just shows how disrespected black people are in the media. And when it comes to just get over it, people don't understand the damage that that really does. Just get over it, because I'm not walking around saying, oh, well, Jews need to get over the Holocaust. Am I? Because if I said that, I'd be wrong, right? But for some reason, black people are so sensitive. But anyways, that's a whole other video for a whole other day. And a whole other conversation that a lot of y'all aren't ready for. Back to Shauna. So Shauna decided that she was going to address everything from the problematic shit she did with Shane to the problematic shit she did after Shane. Now here's the thing. She knew what she was doing was kind of fucked up. And she even admitted in the video. Did I think it was funny? Not really. I just thought it was whatever. She also admitted to giving Shane the nigga pass. Now here's my thing. Shane obviously apologized. He's not that person no more. I'm willing to take Shane's word for it. But for her not to hold Shane accountable as a dark-skinned black woman, you should be ashamed of yourself. The fact that you are a black, dark-skinned woman in the industry and have seen racism from all parts of people, and you want to sit up here and not hold Shane accountable.
And that was the exchange between those two characters. So when somebody years later pulls something like that from the annals of history and says, oh, this is proof that Shauna let him call her a nigga monkey bitch. That was a scene though, that was a comedy scene. Now, if you don't think that's funny, that's fine, because looking back at it, I don't think it's particularly funny, and it's not particularly well executed at all. But how do you find what's funny until you try bad jokes? And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm genuinely asking, how do you figure out where the line is until you try and then you accidentally smudge it?
Anyways, so following that, obviously she's a self-loathing black woman. That's what she is. She's a self-loathing black woman, and she's a disgrace to the black culture. Shauna, I'm gonna need you to turn in your melanin, please, because people like you make other black people look bad and make other white people feel more comfortable being racist. But anyways, following that, she's done other problematic work before. Now, if you guys don't know, there's a YouTube channel on YouTube called All Deaf Digital, ADD. I'm sure most of you haven't heard of it, but it's ran by pretty much black people. They do a lot of fun things, social experiments, social interviews. They do a lot of things, and basically the channel was founded by Russell Simmons. Now, the channel was founded back in 2013, 2014, and basically it has since gained tons of popularity due to its, predominantly black ran people and all the, crazy, funny things that a lot of the black people who run the channel bring on. And long story short, y'all won't believe what this bitch did. So back in 2013, I'll say it was 2014, I don't remember. But long story short, around 8 years ago, when Russell Simmons first opened up this YouTube channel, he had a whole interview with a ton of other YouTubers, and he wanted this channel to basically be a platform where all YouTubers come on, make content, and basically bring all their viewers to that one channel. So basically, she was a part of the first ever episode on the All Deaf Digital channel, and basically she participated in a skit called Harriet Tubman Has Sex with Her Master. And if y'all didn't see the skit that Russell Simmons put on his YouTube channel, All Deaf Digital, here it is.
Seen you be this frisky before.
Oh, master. All these years I've been acting like I didn't love our special time together. Tonight, that's all gonna be different.
This ought to be fun for both of us, as long as Mary don't find out.
Oh, I was never gonna tell.
Harry, you know I love you.
Look, I don't give a damn about what you love.
Harriet, why are you speaking like this?
Look, nigga, this is how it's gonna go.
Don't mistake my sexual desire for weakness. I will not be spoken to like that by a common slave.
Well, massa, I've got what you white folks like to call leverage. And I'm gonna be telling everybody about your Negro love, including Mary.
Like anyone's gonna believe.
You bitch. If you know anything about the word bedwench and bedwenchism, if that's a word, you would know that in the media, dark-skinned women, black women especially, are over-sexualized. Now, y'all know the story of Harriet Tubman. She was born into slavery. not only was she born into slavery, she also witnessed her parents get beat, her family get beat, her friends get beat, and she also went through a lot just to free slaves throughout the Underground Railroad. And y'all know the story, don't have to go into that. But long story short, it's one of the few things that they teach us in American history, but that's a whole other video. Anyways, so she decided to pretend that she was going to have sex with a master, and she basically played the over-sexualized version of Harriet Tubman, like, oh yeah, if you don't leave your wife for me, I'ma tell her that you're messing with me, the mammy, or some shit like that. Like, she was just being so fucking, like, she participated in that film, and she really showed her true colors back in 2013, 2014. And it's so crazy because in her video when she addressed it recently, mind you, her video was posted 5 days ago, she didn't even take accountability for it. She didn't take accountability for it. She was just like, whoa, like, what the fuck? And then in her video, she explained how anything can be funny if it's executed well, which is correct, because Marlon Wayans even said this too. But when it comes to things being executed well, you have to actually be funny. Like, you can't just do jokes and just say, oh well, like, we try to be funny, oh well, we try to just do comedy. And that's just the perspective that she was looking from it for. And her being a dark-skinned black woman, want to participate in that just shows how trash and how low she is, because this just shows that black women don't get the right representation, because you got bitches like this who want to take the shitty roles. This is what I'm talking about, and I talked about this several times. Black women don't get representation, neither do black men, but it's worse for black women. Every time a black woman does get representation, she's being the crazy, overly aggressive mom. She's either the angry black woman, or she's either the over-sexualized Jezebel black woman, or if she's not that, then a black woman is being played by a black man in a fucking dress, aka, i.e. Shanae, Medea, Rasputia, Rhonda, and many more. So black men don't get representation, and that's why they don't get the right pay that they deserve. Even Viola Davis from How to Get Away with Murder, even she had to say that. Even she had to say that black women are underpaid. Women are already underpaid, but then imagine being a black woman. Here's my issue with Shauna. She took this role. It might have been a mistake, but mind you, she's 38 now. She was 30 when she did the role. She was 30, 31 years old. And at that point, your ass should fucking know better. And you're the complete definition of what a sellout is in the industry. You're a sellout. You did a role that disrespected black women and women that look like you for shit pay. And it completely disrespected the legacy of a very prominent figure in black history. So for her to literally try to not take accountability for it and say, okay, yeah, we did it in a comedic standpoint, people took it too far, people took it, you know, the internet went crazy, like, I could see why people are upset, but like, it's comedy.
Tubman sex tape, and the internet went insane, and not in a good way. And literally, I'd never been before really a part of any kind of scandal. I'd never been the target of that much directed hate. The response was so large and loud that they pulled the video off of ADD's channel. The first video that ever went up, pulled it off the channel. They issued a public statement, and I was suddenly out in the cold. I'm like, holy shit, how did this happen? So that's one mistake I made publicly. And in my opinion, it's partially because race, particularly in this country, is still hot button. People are still sensitive under the surface. I think people fail to make the distinction between a character in a film or in a video or TV show, whatever, and the person. I can dislike a person and still like their performance.
Listen, we live in a day and age where people want to cancel comedians, and I'm a firm believer that when it comes to comedians, I'm willing to say that comedians can joke about whatever they want, just as long as it's funny. Eddie Murphy back in the day, have y'all seen stand-up that Eddie Murphy has done back in the day? Eddie Murphy recently had to apologize for some shit that he said during his stand-up, because he said the F word about the gay community in the 80s, and he hasn't done stand-up since the early 90s. It's crazy because she's such a, and this is why a lot of times I have to hold Generation X accountable, and Generation X, for a lot of you guys don't know, is usually people who are like in their late 30s to their 70s. Like, I have to hold, I think it's 60s, yeah, I'll have to hold Generation X accountable, because a lot of the times they're so used to a world where things have been normalized and okay to joke about, to the point where they see it as if a nasty joke is done or a horrible joke is said, it's we should just take it as comedy and just dust it off. But oh, and then Russell Simmons gave a whack-ass apology trying to defend the fact of why he did it.
So disturbed by it, it broke my heart. I'm sure I'm gonna piss off everybody again tomorrow. I got shit that's coming that's gonna piss people off.
Oh, what's coming tomorrow?
I can't tell you, not tomorrow necessarily, that day tomorrow,
Right.
but within the next near future, there'll be shit to piss people off.
Right.
But it's not likely it'll break my heart and make me react as quickly. People around me like, oh, does that mean that you're gonna let them push you around? No! This is about black women, which is, you know, they can push me around a little quicker than the rest of the entire world.
Right.
And they didn't push me around. They educated me on how hurtful it was, because I never considered rape. I just saw her seduce, take advantage of, and turn the tables. Because that's outrage about most everything I do.
How did you feel about Spike Lee kind of expressing it publicly rather than...
Yeah, that's what he does. It's okay.
Nah, she's overall trash, and the whole Harriet Tubman thing really threw me off. But anyways, back to a lot of things that she addressed in her video. She even said in her video, and y'all please don't try to, you know, use the excuse of, oh, that's because you have a white husband. That's why you don't agree with a lot of things I said. She said don't use that as an excuse for her, you know, acting insane and saying all those things. And she tried to use the excuse of, well, even though my first husband was black. You basically just said, I have a black friend, I have a black husband. Like, you basically just said, I have a black friend, so I can't be racist. Or, I'm black, and my ex-husband was black, so I can't be racist. Okay, whatever you say. See, this is the problem with the black community. A lot of people in the black community still have Stockholm Syndrome. And Stockholm Syndrome is basically a sickness mentally where people think that the people who have oppressed them and treated them like shit are their allies. But anyways, as we go further into the video, she claims that, oh, well, Shane wasn't calling me the N-word. He was calling the character the N-word. And then she goes on to say, well, Shane, at the end of the day, he's always been so sweet to me and so nice to me. And, you know, that's why he can call me a Negro. That's why he can call me a nigga monkey woman. Because he was so sweet and so spiritual with me. He was always there for me. I understand in the beginning of the video, she said she does not speak for all black people.
Shauna Malcolm Santos, do not speak for all black people, all women, all tubby bitches.
But for her to sit up here and say that Shane has always been there for her mentally and spiritually, and that's the reason why she's allowed to be called a nigga bitch monkey woman, because she can sit up here and say she don't speak for all black people, because you definitely don't. Like, the shit you saying, you definitely don't. But the fact that you want to sit up here in the same breath and say, well, yeah, he was calling my character that. Well, okay, well, now how about this? A white person who is under the age of 16 see that skit and say, oh, well, Shane Dawson called his friend a nigga bitch monkey woman. I mean, they're friends. I mean, maybe I can do it to my friend too. Maybe I can call my friend a nigga bitch monkey woman. And don't get me started on the fact that she said nigga is just a word. And then she tried to say, first of all, Shane didn't call me nigger. He said nigga, okay? He didn't use he used There's a difference. I'm gonna need this bitch to take your ass back to elementary school. Now, she claims that she's a Jamaican American and that she never saw the validity and the problem with the N-word because she's a Jamaican American and she spent a lot of her childhood in Jamaica and then eventually moved to America and didn't realize the huge stigma that the word has. But for her to sit up here and excuse the fact, well, oh, I let him say it. You know, he felt nervous to say it, but I let him say it. That doesn't make him a racist. Excuse me, but I could have sworn Shane Dawson wrote those scripts. And if he wrote those motherfucking scripts, I guarantee you, all that racist shit that he wrote in there, I guarantee you that's how he probably felt. Because art is a reflection within self, in my personal opinion. So if he was out here writing racist shit in scripts about trying to prove a point, or trying to get a good message across, he was just trying to be funny and a shock value queen, that's not okay. And even Shane Dawson admitted that that wasn't okay and I should have never did that shit. But she wants to excuse it.
So one is my doing a whiteface video and me and Shane doing the whiteface, blackface switch thing. Again, to me, that was in the service of comedy. Again, to me, that was in the service of comedy. To me, that was in the service of comedy. But I completely get, particularly more blackface than whiteface, why that's problematic. Particularly more blackface than whiteface, why that's problematic. And I would even say now wrong. I get that now.
So she says comedy, it was used for comedy, and then says, oh yeah, I can get why that's wrong, and then says that she can only see why that's wrong, but not the monkey comments. This woman is a disgrace, and she should have never made this video. If you were gonna sit up here and try to be like, it's a word, words have no meaning. How about this? Let's put it this way. For her to sit up here and say that words have no meaning unless you give it to them, I see where you're coming from. But when it comes to the N-word, something that means so much to black people, you have to understand that you shouldn't sit up here and say, oh, it's just a word that people shouldn't be offended by. It's just like even I look at the N-word in that perspective as well, to a certain extent. I never get mad when black people get upset when white people say it. Like, I never get mad. I'm just like, hey, I personally don't give a fuck, but hey, if you want to get mad, I understand and I respect that. But when it comes to the N-word, I'm a firm believer, and I've said this numerous times, that I don't think anybody should say it. It should have never been a popular word. I use it occasionally, but it should never have been popular, and, you know, rappers play a big role in it. But anyways, when it comes to the N-word, no one should be saying it, and if black people do say it, great. If you want to say it, perfectly fine, that's understandable. Reclaim it as your own, I get it. But don't give nigga passes for this specific reason. You see this bitch right here who's throwing out the whole, well, yeah, I let him say it. Like, nigga and nigger is different. Like, this is why I don't think it's okay for black people to give nigga cards. And I haven't given nigga cards away. I don't just go around saying, oh yeah, go ahead, you can say it, you black, or, you know, we cool, so you can say it. Like, I don't, it's either don't say it around me at all, or I just don't care in general. Because I even had a situation where one of my friends, who's white basically, she accidentally slipped out and said nigga in front of me, but she didn't say it like to me, but she was saying it because she basically was using the N-word in the sense of, oh my god, like, did you see that nigga? Like, that's how she was using it. And she looked at me and said, oh wait, you don't get offended if I say it, right? And I was like, I mean, personally, I don't care. Like, I just don't think anyone should say it in general. I know people are still going to use it because it's a big part of pop culture, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to crucify you for using it, because it's just one of those things where I just feel like no one should be using the word in the first place, and it should have never gained popularity. So in my opinion, for her to say that bullshit like nigga and nigger is a difference, listen, nigga and nigger is completely the same thing when it's coming out of a white person's mouth. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Listen, she want to say nigger and nigger is a difference? Bitch, really? Nigga and nigger is a difference? Okay, so let's use Trina as an example. I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with the famous female rapper Trina, right? So recently a video of her went viral from when she was at Walmart, late at night, Walmart in Miami. And basically she accidentally bumped into a woman, and the woman didn't say excuse me. Long story short, the woman called her a nigga bitch, and then Trina went the fuck off, and people recorded her, people had their phones out ready to call the police, all this nonsense, and then Trina got kicked out. Like, it was just a mess. And then Trina chose not to press charges, blah blah blah. But anyways, she didn't use, oh you nigger bitch, she used you nigga bitch. Shauna says in her video that context and intent matters, which I see where she's coming from, but you're really trying to excuse a white man calling you a nigga monkey bitch with you saying intent matters. It was for a script. Okay, but what about your Harriet Tubman of you playing a bedwench? And a bedwench, basically a woman who was used as a sex slave by white men. What's your excuse of being a sex slave and playing that role? What's your excuse then? For the money? This girl is just as bad as white supremacy, and she plays a role on why black women aren't getting the right roles and the right pay. This is what Monique was talking about. Black women are becoming sellouts. Sellouts, accepting shit pay and taking demonizing, demeaning roles with no real meaning or good intent behind it other than a paycheck for white people who don't even give a shit about them. And that's why black women aren't represented in the media. That's why black men don't get the right representation in the media, because we have black people like her allowing fuckery like this to slide. It's okay if you said that the internet was a different time back then and you didn't see the issue of it. That's different. That's fine. But for you to try to defend it and not say, I apologize, and then you don't even gotta apologize for some shit that you did years ago, but at least be able to hold the person you did it with accountable without saying that doesn't make him a racist and context and intent matter, and for you to scream from the top of your motherfucking lungs and say,
it's a joke! Learn to take a fucking joke! Context matters. If there were a video in existence, and this has never happened in my presence, in which Shane Dawson as himself turned and looked at me and called me a nigga monkey bitch, you best believe we wouldn't be motherfucking friends, because I'd have punched him in his motherfucking face, because the intent would have been anything but comic. It's a scene. It's a vlog. It's an experience that we shared publicly. And of course, that means we put it out there.
Sit your ass down somewhere. She literally just pissed me off. And I had to speak on her. It's crazy because people have been asking her to speak on this for years. The Harriet Tubman situation that she's never taken accountability and apologized for in a meaningful way. She's constantly throwing out, but. If you're trying to take accountability and then say, but, that's not an apology. That's not you taking accountability. That's you making excuses. Ain't no substitute for the truth. Either it is or it isn't. I'm a firm believer in keeping that same energy, and I will always hold Shane Dawson accountable for the fuck shit he did. But I do believe people can change. That's just my eyes. I do believe a racist person isn't going to be racist forever, depending on if they get educated, dragged, and they fix their actions. That's what I believe. And Shane Dawson took accountability. But will she? Another thing that pissed me off in her video that I really want to address is that she had the nerve to compare Shane Dawson calling her a nigga bitch monkey woman as a joke to the, in case you guys know, there's a YouTuber by the name of Count Jocula, basically derived from the word Dracula. So this YouTuber by the name of Count Jocula, and basically he filmed himself, this was around 4 years ago. No, this wasn't 4 years, this was recently, this was a year ago. A year ago, a YouTuber by the name of Count Jocula, I believe that was his name, filmed himself making his pug, his dog, do the Hitler sign. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Hitler sign. You guys know there's a horrible stigma behind it. And they teach us about the Holocaust all throughout school. I'm sure most of you guys know a lot of the fucked up things Hitler did. Hitler not only kidnapped people and manipulated them into staying in work camps, but he also slaughtered people who were, you know, Jewish, people who were different from the European standard of beauty. He also slaughtered people who weren't white enough, and also he even has a history of taking babies and throwing them in the sky and shooting them. Like, he's done a lot of really evil, nasty things, and probably one of the most demonic people in history. And basically, a man by the name of Count Jocula asked, basically filmed his dog trying to do the fucking sign. Like, what the fuck is this? And then he actually got in trouble because, mind you, this happened in England. So since this happened in England, they do have their own set of laws when it comes to hate crimes, and he was held accountable. He was charged for it, he faced fees, and a whole bunch of nonsense. And she has the nerve to use that as a fucking excuse for her being called a nigga bitch monkey woman by saying it's a joke.
What's his name? I put it on the screen. Who got in trouble for doing that video about teaching his girlfriend's cute pug to do the Nazi salute thing, and all this criminal proceeding unfolded, and this dude was found guilty and having to prove himself in a court of law. For what? It's a joke! Learn to take a fucking joke!
People like this are exactly what's wrong with the black community. People like this are exactly what's wrong with why we're not taken seriously as a whole, because we got people giving out nigga passes, we got people out here trying to justify their reasoning for standing by white people over like nonsense and no justifiable reason, and then her comment section is full of a whole bunch of people saying, well, it's your opinion, black people shouldn't be dragging you. It's a whole bunch of non-black people in her comments kissing her ass trying to justify her reasons. And it's just like, let me say something one more time. I'm tired of non-black people accepting apologies on my behalf, and I'm tired of non-black people telling me to get over shit, because I for damn sure don't ever go around telling Mexicans or Latinos of any background, hey, y'all shouldn't even find what Trump says offensive. Like, y'all shouldn't find what he says offensive. Like, Trump has an opinion. Like, it's not that deep. Like, y'all Latinos are so sensitive. I'd be dead wrong if I said that, right? So I don't want anyone, if any minority group, trying to tell me what I shouldn't find offensive. I don't go around telling Asians, oh man, like y'all shouldn't find, these nasty stereotypes that they have attached to you offensive. You shouldn't find the stereotypes of them thinking that y'all eat cows and shit offensive. Like, it's not that deep. Y'all so sensitive. Like, I don't go around telling any minority group that they are sensitive and shouldn't find anything wrong with all the horrible things that are told to them. So I would appreciate it if anybody who is not a person of color, black, who's not black, bliggity black, bitch, to tell me what to get over and that I shouldn't be offended. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That was that for this video. But yeah, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. This is non-hormonal chicken. No stereotypes. No preservatives. It's late as fuck. I'm gonna take my ass to sleep. I'm gonna go fuck up my mango. Fuck up this chicken. And I'm going to sleep. So yeah, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Give your comments down below. And yeah. That's that.